I haven't been able to like spend a lot of time in the One Piece community, so I don't actually know what the current speculation is and what the people are talking about. So I thought it was time to like kind of with every new chapter kind of talk about like, whatever I think is going to happen next and the lore and like the characters and stuff like that. Like, it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but the big thing that I have been wondering for the longest time is the nature of the will of D, right? I really wonder what ties all these characters together, what they have in common, why like Emu hates them so much. Like we know more about the D now than I think we ever have before. Like I think the last couple of arcs in general have really kind of emphasized that fact a lot that like the D is a very critical aspect to the world of One Piece. And we just don't know anything about it, right? Oda seems completely unwilling to kind of emphasize what it means or like what connections these characters have. I have some ideas about the nature of this phenomenon, and I really wonder, like, what does the D stand for specifically? I do think the thing that seems to tie all these characters together, like from my understanding, is that like all of them stand against the world government in some way, shape, or form. Garp defies orders. Dragon goes off on his own and starts a revolutionary army. Luffy becomes a pirate, right? Blackbeard is doing his thing. Buggy, I think, is a confirmed D now. Uh, you have like all of these characters that seem to have like these higher goals outside of like the reach and control of the world government, right? To me, I feel like what all these characters have in common is that they have some dream to aspire to. And that's kind of what I think the D stands for is like dreaming. Instead of just existing in the world government systems, like these are the people that go out to sea, build massive crews, like defy the world government, like establish some crazy operation and take stands against them, right? Instead of simply just existing, right? Like it's interesting. Like Emu specifically describes the people with the D as being like husks, as if they're like, as if they don't have a critical aspect of humanity in them, right? They're referred to as like the enemies of the gods and stuff like that, which makes me think that like Joy Boy must have been one as well. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but like uh, when you the way he describes it, and like what we know about some of the characters, like, is it possible that the reason that Blackbeard can contain two devil fruits is because he's a D? Because like the way that like Emu describes it, like he's an empty hut, like they are empty husks, right? Like Vegapunk like says this too, where like they're missing a critical aspect of their anatomy. Like if that's true, like maybe D's are like physically different than other people in the Grand Line. Like maybe they have like something seriously wrong with them, or like there's some like genetic mutation or something, and because of their like inability to be controlled by the world government, they can somehow harness the powers of more than one devil fruit, right? Like I think in a lot of ways that I think in a lot of ways like Blackbeard and Luffy's stated goals are interesting because they're both D's, but they both like seem to be heading in like very different directions with what they want, right? Luffy wants freedom from the world government, and Blackbeard like seems to want like to have the power to overthrow the world government if he wants to, right? He wants to defy the world government, but he also wants their acknowledgement to like form a nation of criminals. So like it's a different kind of rebellion to what Luffy is doing. And with a lot like Shanks, like actually all the characters, I would say, Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard, like we don't actually know what their long-term goals are. We have a general idea in regards to like Luffy and Blackbeard, but with like Shanks specifically, well, Shanks isn't a D, but like when it comes to like Luffy and Blackbeard, you you have wildly different like perspectives, but they all seem to be coming from the same place. Like Blackbeard gives that speech on Jaya about like my dream. Like he tries doing that like uh he tries talking about like how dreams don't have ends and stuff like that. And at the time, it's like he's hyping Luffy up, right? This is one of the reasons Blackbeard is such an interesting character because he very much is the anti-Luffy, but the story doesn't really emphasize a lot of why of like what his stated goals are, what where he came from, like his biology, like what is going on with him. Like it's just a thing where he gives all these statements, all these ideas on what he's going to do, but like what is it all amounting to? Like what does it all mean? Like what? And again, it's one of those things where the key the puzzle pieces have to be established already. They have to be there. Like like people managed to figure out like the whole flooding thing. So like again, we have to have an idea of what the D is, but like we just don't know like the specifics. We don't have like the hard facts when it comes down to. And I imagine like I am so upset that Vegapunk's like voice call cut out at that specific instance where he's like describing the D. Awfully convenient, but like it seems like the world government specifically don't want people to know. Like that specifically is in and of itself like one of the things that the world government is trying to hide, keep hidden from the general population. And I really don't know why. Like, yeah, we get to the fact that the D are enemies, but like the way they're structured, the way they're held out, like they don't form alliances with each other, right? They just kind of exist and kind of do their own thing and kind of rebel against the world government. Like it's weird. You don't really see like any D's on the same pirate crew. You don't really see like they have friendships sometimes. Ace and Luffy are a good example. Like you have some like relationships, but like never enough for like any of the characters to like put all the dots together, right? Like they just kind of exist. And like it just doesn't make any sense. Like why they have the D and the like the naming convention makes no sense. Like I really wonder if it's like based on like some Japanese thing. Like maybe the kanji can be read in a different way or something. Like if it's a super Japanese thing, I'm gonna be pissed. But like um, I I really don't know at this point. It's one of those things where it's probably one of the big mysteries surrounding the final saga, and the way it looks now is that we don't even have we don't even, we're not even close to finding out the answer to that question. It seems to be a long, long, long way off.